If the so-called Negro in America was truly an American citizen, we wouldn't have a racial problem. If the Emancipation Proclamation was authentic, we wouldn't have a race problem. If the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to the Constitution were authentic, we wouldn't have a race problem. If the Supreme Court desegregation decision were authentic, we would not have a race problem. But you have to see that all of this is hypocrisy.
That's right.
These Negro leaders are running around telling the white man that everything is all right, that we got everything under control, that everything the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches is wrong. But I'm telling you, Mr. Muhammad said these things were going to come to pass, and now these things are starting to come to pass. Now these same Negro leaders are running around talking about there's about to be a racial explosion. Yes, there's going to be a racial explosion. And a racial explosion is more dangerous than an atomic explosion. There's going to be an explosion because black people are dissatisfied. They're dissatisfied not only with the white man, but with these Uncle Tom Negro leaders that are trying to pose as spokesmen for you and I. Just like you have a powder keg. When you have a powder keg and there's too many sparks around it, the thing's going to explode.
That's right.
And if the thing that's going to explode is sitting inside the house, and if it explodes, then the house is going to be destroyed.
That's right.
I said the house is going to be destroyed. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is teaching you and I and trying to tell the white man to get this powder keg out of his house. Let the black man separate from his house. Let the black man have his own house. Let the black man have his own land and his own property. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is trying to tell the white man that this explosion is going to bring down his house. This is what he's trying to tell him. And more importantly, he's trying to tell him that if he doesn't do something about it, it's going to explode any day now.
That's right.
Yes, it is.
There are moments in American history where a single room becomes a courtroom, a classroom, and a confession booth all at once, where one man stops being a barber and becomes a mirror held up to the nation. In 1966, in a small barbershop in Omaha, Nebraska, Ernie Chambers spoke with a clarity so sharp it cut deeper than any blade he ever held. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't pull punches. He simply told the truth America still runs from. And the thing about truth is, once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Few particulars that make Omaha different from New York are just incidental. The problem exists because white people think they're better than black people, and they want to oppress us, and they want us to allow ourselves to be oppressed.
This is I agree with you perfectly. This is the basic problem.
Then what do you
that white people think they're better than others.
I can't solve the problem. You guys pull the strings that close schools. You guys draw the boundaries that keep our kids restricted to the ghetto. You guys write up the restrictive covenants that keep us out of houses. So it's up to you to talk to your brothers and your sisters and persuade them that they have a responsibility. We've assumed ours for over 400 years.
This was America a century after slavery, yet still addicted to the idea that whiteness meant superiority, not as a belief, but as a policy, a practice, a blueprint. Racism isn't accidental, it's engineered. He names the architects not as hooded figures in the night, but school boards, city planners, politicians, bankers, and preachers, because the power didn't disappear, it just put on a suit. Ernie's sharpest blade wasn't aimed at violence, it was aimed at the myth that protects it. The myth that America is fair, that white people are innocent, that racism is a misunderstanding something emotional, not structural. He says it clearly. White people have circulated these myths for so long. They've begun to believe them. Self-deception becomes national identity, and once a lie becomes culture, you can punish anyone who refuses to believe it. This is why black anger scares people. It ruptures the story America tells about itself.
And we're tired of this kind of stuff now. We're not going to suffer patiently anymore. No more turning the other cheek. No more blessing our enemies. No more praying for those who despitefully use us. We're going to show you that we've learned the lessons you've taught us. We've studied your history, and you did not take over this country by singing "We Shall Overcome." You did not gain control of the world like you have it now by dealing fairly with a man and keeping your word. You're treaty breakers, you're liars, you're thieves, you rape entire continents and races of people. Then you wonder why these very people don't have any confidence or trust in you. Your religion means nothing. Your law is a farce, and we see it every day. You demonstrated it in Alabama. And I can say you because you're part of the whole system. You profit from it. In fact, you make your living from it. You couldn't walk around and talk to people, stand up in your pulpit on Sunday and preach nice little songs and say, now we're going to give thanks to the Lord for he is good and old Jesus be among us. As far as we're concerned, your Jesus is contaminated, just like everything else you tried to force upon us is contaminated.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so you can have him. And here's what I'll say. I wish you would follow Jesus like we followed him. Because if you did that, then we'd be in charge tomorrow. I think the problem is so bad that we can have no understanding at all.
You think it's gotten to the point where there can never be that reconciliation?
No. You talk about justice, and it means one thing to you, and we talk about it and it means something else to us. Mm-hmm. And it'll always be that way. Mm-hmm. And I'd like you to know I have a terrible feeling against preachers, because I think you guys are the ones who are largely responsible for the problem in the first place. And you can accept it or not any way you choose. And for you, this may be an excursion, you know, across the line.
What about the person that wants to listen? I genuinely feel that I want to listen.
Well, if you listen and try to do something, you get kicked out of your church. See, that's the way your people are.
Well, we can make changes, right? I mean, so the changes that have come have been drastic.
God bless you, little brother.
We exist.
Come back and see us again sometime. And don't look back in anger. Thanks for taking it so well. He thought we were going to do in here like they do to us. If we went in one of their places, everybody would have jumped out of their chairs and got some ropes together and hung one of us. We couldn't even go in one of their places like this.
Right, Daniel?
Yeah. Right.
So many of us have gotten God's blessings. Isn't that right? When you got them, you were so glad. You told it a while. Did you do so? Yeah. Have a thing. Let's do it. Even all right.
Ernie went somewhere most people were too afraid to go. He called out the church, not God, not faith, but the institution. He said white Christianity was contaminated, not because Jesus failed, but because white America used Jesus to make black people compliant. Turn the other cheek, bless your enemies, suffer patiently. These weren't just scriptures, they were strategies, techniques of control wrapped in holy language. Ernie's message was simple. White America didn't follow Jesus, they weaponized him.
Then, on October 15th, during an appearance on Politically Incorrect, King shot the country.
Great. Dr. King, okay, you're an advocate of nonviolence, but guess what? How do you think the United States should respond to the terror attacks of 9/11?
Well, as a Christian, we are taught that you should love thy enemy, and if attacked, you should turn the other cheek. What?
America was outraged.
The president was very concerned by some comments made by some ex-civil rights leaders, and those people in question should watch their goddamn fucking mouths.
Of course, an Al-Qaeda lover like Martin Luther King wants us to just roll over and let the terrorists win, because he hates America. My suggestion? Go take another 30-year nap, commie bastard.
In December 2001, CNN named Martin Luther King one of the 10 most unpatriotic Americans. His book was canned, his house was vandalized. King renamed his book Dream Deterred, and it was finally released by a small publisher.
Ernie exposes a contradiction so deep it still haunts the country. Black men are sent to shed blood in Korea, in Vietnam, and Laos to protect freedom. But when they come home, they can't get a hotel room. They can't enter a diner. They can't enjoy the democracy they killed for. Ernie asks the killer question, how can a Vietnamese man be treated better than an American citizen who fought for this country? Black loyalty was demanded. White equality was optional. And that hypocrisy breaks something inside a person. It shatters faith in the system. It reveals the truth. America doesn't fear foreign enemies. It fears a conscious black population.
The United States ain't doing nothing for us, man. We busted our ass, we went over there to an army to kill, and 99% of us got killed, and we didn't get nothing for it. They give us a piece of paper that says to us, we're a Vietnam veteran, and we can get disability, and we can get this, and we can get a job, and we ain't got nothing to get our welfare. You understand?
The war in Vietnam is over, and the junkies are coming home, angry and scared and strung out. In New York City, there are 300,000 Vietnam-era veterans, and 40,000 of them are addicts. Most of them began using heroin, barbiturates, and amphetamines in Vietnam, and most of them came home with less than honorable drug-related discharges. These GIs are ineligible for veterans' educational, home loan, and employment benefits. They get no long-term VA medical or psychological treatment for their addiction. They're offered only methadone, a numbing drug with which some men can function and others can't.
I went to Vietnam in September of 1969, and during the time that I was there, I went through certain experiences that led me into using drugs. You know, one of the experiences that I recall was during a night ambush. I killed a 12-year-old kid, you know, which was something that I couldn't handle at that time. You know, seeing him dead, laying on the ground the next morning, it really stayed on my mind. So I started using drugs, and I kept that up until I came back to the States.
When I used to shoot dope, I didn't have fear. That was the whole thing about it. To keep myself going through the day in combat, I would get high. I would be under the influence of some type of drugs, and I wouldn't feel fear. But after coming down from the drugs, I would start feeling fear, and that's when I would go back to getting high again.
I didn't want to really be there. I was afraid, I was lonely, homesick. I wanted to be home. Most of all, afraid. I was even afraid of returning home at one time because of my addiction. I was thinking of how am I going to get my fix when I arrived to the States.
Even though I did receive the Silver Star and Bronze Stars medals for valor, I was no hero.
How were you treated?
By the military and by society, very bad.
How?
Opportunities, I didn't have any. Job, I couldn't find one. Treatment programs, they didn't exist. Methadone, I didn't want to get into methadone because that was just another crutch, another drug.
And what did that make you feel like, all that rejection?
Like I was back in the Nam.
The Veterans Administration offers the addicted vet no rehabilitation or retraining. Just a 6-week methadone detoxification program in a VA hospital or indefinite outpatient methadone maintenance. And while methadone may kill the need for heroin, it's more addictive than heroin. And the VA treats only 988 men. New York City treats 4,000 more with methadone, with 2,000 on waiting lists. But that leaves 35,000 addicted Vietnam veterans without treatment. The city's welfare department has a responsibility for providing public assistance for 6,000 Vietnam vets, many of whom are addicts. As early as 3 every morning, the vets begin lining up outside the understaffed Veterans Welfare Center on 8th Avenue. The glass doors of the center have been replaced with steel. They were destroyed early this winter by vets battering against them to get in.
Well, I tell you what, I wasn't here at 4 o'clock. I just got here about 8 o'clock.
So how come you're up at the front of the line? Are you going to try and bull your way in here?
I am. I'm going in when the crowd goes in.
That's not fair to your brothers online, though, is it?
Look, only the strong survive. It's a dog-eat-dog world out here. You better believe it.
World in this land.
That's right. And that's no lie.
You're going to push ahead of them, huh?
Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. They made us animals, so why not act like one and be one until we get our check and come on out of there. Then we human beings again.
That was the situation more than 2 months ago. And although Robert Carroll, Director of Community Affairs for the department, promised in a statement on December 6, 1972, that within 1 month the vets would be in and out of the cold, now, 2.5 months later, the men are still freezing.
You can see right now, we standing out here in the cold. From dudes be here from like you gotta get here at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 5 below zero. So like that don't make no sense, man.
See, when you're on the front line of welfare, it's just like being in Vietnam. Freezing your ass off. That's all I say.
You still gotta fight.
You gotta fight.
Actually, you don't stop
because
fighting.
When I came down here on the 19th of last month to go upstairs to pick up my check, it was on the 3rd floor. That ain't my regular floor. When I went up there, the lady called me a nigger. I had an offer in her mouth to get my check.
I went to a telephone company for jobs, and they told me you don't have enough education to do the job. Your rank is your score is not high enough, but my score was high enough to do 3 years in NAM. But it's not high enough to connect the line in the telephone building. If I could get me a job where I could be my own man, they make me think that they're feeling sorry for me. Give me this, give me what I need. This is like a pet, like a dog, you know, like give him, you have to be fed now, give him some food, you know?
Anybody can make people stand out on the line, you understand, and wait, you understand? But yet and still, when I got my fingers blowed away in the numb, you understand, wasn't no waiting, you understand what I mean?
How'd I feel about America? Well, I tell you what,
shit.
I was born here. You understand? I was born here.
Ain't shit.
I live here. This is my home.
It ain't nothing.
See, I feel all right about it, but I say treat a person like they're supposed to be treated. You understand?
Nothing, man.
Like a human being.
Ernie's message is not about violence, it's about dignity. He says black people have been patient for 400 years, patient while being beaten, patient while being lied to, patient while being denied rights. No more prayers as a substitute for action, no more suffering silently, no more forgiving systems that refuse to change. This wasn't a threat, it was a declaration of humanity, a line drawn in the sand.
I mean, I was taught, I'm from the deep South, that this man was preaching hate, but when I told Spike and I told the others that when I see the film, I don't get that impression. I didn't hear the hate that everyone else says he was doing. Was I not listening correctly, or?
Well, you know, he would illustrate it this way. Is the sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back, so they said, no, he's teaching hate, he's violent.
You know, many people, Carl Rowan, for example, has written several columns even recently about how this is revisionist history and that people really didn't know what Malcolm X was and who he was and what he stood for. I mean, he didn't have the whole black movement in step with him either.
Who said this?
Carl Rowan, syndicated columnist. He was a member of the government when Malcolm X was making all the speeches, and he didn't like him at all.
He was a member of the government.
Yeah. That answers that, doesn't it? I rest my case on that one.
Right. And now he writes for the newspapers?
I mean, he didn't have everybody in step with him. I mean,
no, he's much more popular now.
What do you count for that?
Well, I think that people are frustrated. You know, I think that with the government, Carl Rowan's government, I think that people are reaching out You know, they don't see the type of leadership present that there used to be, so they reach into the past and find the heroes in the past. Hopefully that's going to change now with a new administration, hopefully a new time.
Ernie argues that reconciliation is impossible because white and black Americans don't mean the same thing when they say justice. To white America, justice means stability, order, keeping things as they are. To black America, justice means equality, liberation, transformation. These two definitions cannot coexist peacefully. One requires the dismantling of the other. So the tension isn't accidental, it's structural, inevitable, built into the DNA of the nation.
A lot of people may well see this particular gentleman as someone who makes an appearance either in a supporting or non-supporting role in many of the poems that I do. The truth is that the politics that we discuss are not partisan politics in terms of Democrat or Republican. I am a member of the Common Sense Party. And for the longest kind of a time, I have felt as though people who said that they did not care anything about politics or were not interested in it were making a political statement in and of itself. The new poetry that evolved in our society concerned the fact that folks wanted to use both words that people could understand as well as talk about ideas that people could understand. One such poem, at least an early poem of ours that went in that direction, concerned the fact that millions and millions of dollars are continually sent into outer space while we continue to face the same problems here on the ground. The poem said, "A rat done bit my sister Nell with Whitey on the moon, and her face and arms began to swell, and Whitey's on the moon. I can't pay no doctor bills, but Whitey's on the moon. 10 years from now, I'll be paying still while Whitey's on the moon. You know the man just upped my rent last night? 'Cause Whitey's on the moon. No hot water, no toilets, and no lights, but Whitey's on the moon. I wonder why he's upping me. 'Cause Whitey's on the moon? I was already giving him $50 a week, and now Whitey's on the moon. Taxes taking my whole damn check. The junkies make me a nervous wreck. The price of food is going up. And as if all that crap wasn't enough, a rat done bit my sister Nell with Whitey on the moon. Her face and arms began to swell, and Whitey's on the moon. Was all that money I made last year for Whitey on the moon? How come I ain't got no money here? Whitey's on the moon. You know, I just about had my fill of Whitey on the moon. I think I'll send these doctor bills, airmail special, to Whitey on the moon."
Ernie describes a painful truth. Black people were expected to be loyal, brave, patriotic, obedient, to fight white wars, defend white families, uphold white laws, and honor white religion. But the moment they demanded the rights they earned, they became radical, ungrateful, dangerous. This is the psychological violence rarely talked about, the exhaustion of constantly proving you deserve to exist. Ernie's clarity cuts through generations of shame. He's saying, we fought, we served, we bled, we prayed, we waited, and we're done waiting.
Which is the bigger threat to American democracy and the Constitution? A Vietnamese mother suckling her child, or a white racist governor in Alabama who says, in so many words, to hell with the Constitution and Johnson and everything else? Which is the greater threat to democracy?
This is true, but these people have a kind of self-deception. You know, they believe, they've circulated these myths so long that they've begun to believe them. And once you believe them, they say if you define a situation as being real, it will be real in its consequences. And this is just what's happened. They've come to actually believe this. And any evidence to the contrary, he's the exception. But the fact is, all the people who do struggle hard enough to accumulate a down payment, they do want something better for themselves and for their kids, and they hope that their neighbors will be the same kind of people that they are.
A black man fights for the white man, not for himself. He tells you to bleed and you bleed. He said, go bleed in Korea for the white man, and you go bleed because you have to. He tells you to go to Vietnam or Lebanon or Laos, and we have to bleed. Then in Mississippi or Alabama or Omaha, Nebraska, where they're taking our rights and we know who the people are who are taking them, we don't have any blood then. We're radical. Just because we want to get the rights that we fight overseas for so the white man can have. We fight over there to defend his women and children and defend his land from attack. And while we're over there fighting for him, our own people are being attacked by the same white people over here we're supposed to be fighting to defend.
Right. Everybody's got something to fight for.
right? You got the rights that you fought for. Do you feel that? Do you Staff Sergeant? And I got out. Do you feel that you're living under those rights now?
Why should he go over there and fight the Vietnamese? They've done nothing to him. Working right in his own country, he can go places and he can't even get in a hotel. I mean, and he can drive in a place and might not even be able to get gas if the people don't look at your license plate and see where you're from. That's what he was talking about.
Have you ever been in Hawaii?
Yeah.
What do you think about you? They're black as you are, and I am, right?
Yeah.
Okay then. What a bottle of beer cost you? 80 cents, don't it? Will they speak to you? Because they got long, pretty hair.
No, that's not what the white men got there and contaminated them.
You can't go to places in Japan, man.
And you know what? You know why? The American white men.
Yeah, but the Japanese gonna keep you out of why?
But look, man, let me say this now. Even if you go some other over there and they mistreat you, well, you can't feel too bad, because that's not your home. But when you come to your own home and mistreated, then you really feel mistreated. This is my home here. And if it's being a fight, we should fight here.
Amen. Right.
You know what I mean? Why go over there and fight?
Have you ever been turned away from a hotel by a Vietnamese?
No,
by a Chinese? A Japanese? A Korean? A Lebanese? How about a white man?
Yeah.
Then if we should fight the man who's hurting us, and the white man is one, and he lives in this country.
Ernie didn't just call out racism, he revealed the spiritual crisis underneath it. America cannot heal because it cannot tell the truth. It cannot confront the gap between what it claims to be and what it actually is. Ernie's barbershop wasn't a moment of rage, it was a moment of revelation. A man in a small neighborhood shop telling the most powerful country on earth, your myth is collapsing. Your innocence is a lie. Your violence is not an accident, it's a choice. And until you face that truth, history will repeat itself. The question isn't whether Ernie Chambers was right in 1966. The question is whether we're finally ready to listen.
Yeah. The 2 words, United States, no love, no breaks, low brow, high stakes, crack smoke, black folks, Big Macs, fat folks, ecstasy capsules, presidential scandals, everybody move. 2 words, most deaf, Kanye, hot shit, calm down, get back, ghetto people got this, game pawn lock shit, gun pawn cock shit, we don't stop shit, everybody move. 2 words, BKNY, Bed-Stuy, too hard, too hungry, too many, that's why these streets, no game, can't ball, don't play, heavy traffic, 1 lane, everybody move. 2 words, most deaf, K West, hot shit, calm down, get back, ghetto people got this, game pawn lock, gun pawn cock, we don't stop, most in the rock.
Hey yo, 2 words, Chi-Town, Southside, worldwide, cause I rep that till I fucking die. 1 neck, 2 chains, 1 waist, 2 desks, 1 wall, 20 plaques, dudes pay, give me that. I am limelight, blueprint, 5 mics, go get his rhyme like, should've been signed twice, most imitated, Grammy nominated, hotel accommodated, cheerleader prom dated, barbershop player hated, mom and pop bootlegged it, felt like it rained till the roof caved in, but 2 words, Chi-Town raised me crazy, so I live by 2 words, fuck you, pay me, screaming, Jesus save me, you know how the game be, I can't let them change me, cause on judgment day, you gon' blame me, look God, it's the same me, basically no now, we get racially profiled, cuffed up and hosed down, pimped up and hold down, plus I got a whole city to hold down, from the bottom so the top's the only place to go now.
Hey yo.
Oh, that's me and K West. Oh shit.